Oh, we got him. We got him.
Yes.
Yes. We did it.
So for anybody out there that really doesn't want to cheese or glitch the last two bosses, and they want a fair fight, this build will absolutely shred Radigan and the Elden Beast in a matter of minutes. It actually took me 2.5 minutes to beat Radigan and the Elden Beast using this build. So firstly, we'll need to go over everything you need, as you can't change some of this stuff once you've started the fight. So stats. For your stats, you're going to want to bring up your Dex, Arcane and Faith as much as possible. Weapons. For your right hand, you're going to want a smooth dagger with Bloodhound Step. You can get the Bloodhound Step Ash of War from the Knight Cavalry. He hangs out on this bridge in Caelid at night. You can cheese him pretty easily using this video. I will share it in the description. You'll also need Rivers of Blood in your right hand. Yes, I know most of you are offended by the idea of using Rivers of Blood for some strange reason, but I'm sorry. You're here for a good build for a specific reason, and I'm telling you, New Game 7 endgame boss fight was so much easier with it. For your left hand, you're going to want the Dragon Communion Seal as it scales with Arcane. You can get the Dragon Communion Seal here. I assume I don't need to tell you to upgrade these weapons as much as you can, except for the dagger. Don't upgrade that. Spells and incantations. You'll only need 3 incantations here: Flame Grant Me Strength, Black Flame, and Pestilence. Armor. For armor, you're going to go for the White Mask as it gives you a tasty little boost to your damage whenever blood loss is in the vicinity, and trust me, there will be. For the rest, wear something with decent armor that isn't going to cause you to fat roll. I went with Malekith's armor, but it's completely your choice. Great Rune. For the Great Rune, go for Mohg's Great Rune. It'll give your Mimic tier the edge when fighting these guys. However, if you're thinking of summoning in players to help with this,
Oh no. Whoa!
then go for Godric's Great Rune, so you can get that 5 level boost on all of your stats. Wondrous Physic. You'll want the Thorny Crack tier, which boosts successive attacks. Then secondly, you'll want the Flame Shrouding Crack tier, which will boost fire attacks. Finally, let's talk talismans. Firstly, you'll need the Shard of Alexander, which greatly boosts the attack power of skills. You can get this by finishing Alexander Warrior Jar's quest, which... have fun with that. Then you'll want the Fire Scorpion Charm. It increases fire damage by 12%. It does also increase physical damage taken by 10. But if you do this right, you won't be getting hit at all. A random note about the Fire Scorpion Charm: when in PvP, it increases magic damage by 8%. And then it also increases physical damage taken by 15. Then Millicent's Prosthesis, which boosts dexterity and raises attack power with successive attacks. You can get this by defeating Millicent at the end of her quest line. You can also secretly get this a lot earlier. When she spawns in at the Windmill Village Site of Grace, kill her and she'll drop it then. Finally, you'll want the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia, which greatly raises attack power with successive attacks. You can get this by siding with Millicent at the end of her questline. If you're on your first playthrough, it's likely you won't have both of Millicent's talismans, so swap out the one you don't have for the Godskin Swaddling Cloth. This gives you HP every time you use successive attacks. You can get the Godskin Swaddling Cloth here. Then make sure you have the Radigan Icon Talisman in your inventory too, but don't equip it yet. This shortens the casting time for spells and incantations. You can get this here. For your summons, you'll want the Mimic tier, or you can just summon in 2 random people to help you fight, whichever is easier. Now you've got everything you need, it's fight time. So for the Radigan strategy, summon in the Mimic tier as soon as you spawn in front of Radigan. Now get running to get away from him whilst you wait for your tier to spawn in and get to work. Now drink a health potion to replace the HP you lost summoning in your Mimic tier, cast Flame Grant Me Strength on yourself, and drink your Flask of Wondrous Physic, which, if you remember, boosts successive attacks and fire attacks. Now that your Mimic tier is distracting Radigan, run over and use the Rivers of Blood skill. If you remember, you've got the Alexander Shard that boosts the skill attacks. You've also got the Mask boosting blood loss, and the Fire Scorpion Charm, the Wondrous Physic, and Flame Grant Me Strength, all boosting the fire damage that the Rivers of Blood does. You've also got the 2 Talismans and Wondrous Physic boosting successive attacks and stacking with each hit. So although Radigan isn't too bothered by blood loss, this is still gonna hit him really hard. Whenever his attention turns to you, switch to your dagger and Bloodhound Step out of there. I found with most of his attacks, it's actually easier just to dodge or bloodhound step towards him. Then when his attention is back on your mimic, start throwing black flame fireballs at him. This will cause an initial big burst of damage and then continue to burn through for a little longer. Just rinse and repeat and keep slashing at Radigan and you'll easily rip him apart in under 60 seconds. Now that you've destroyed Radigan, it's time to talk Elden Beast strategy. So firstly, you'll want to run away to a safe distance and avoid the initial holy damage attack that the Elden Beast does. By now, your Mimic tier is likely distracting the Elden Beast, but probably has a very low amount of HP left, so you'll need to act fast. Jump into your inventory and change out one of your talismans for the Radigan's Icon Talisman. Now change your Rivers of Blood back over to the small dagger with Bloodhound Step, and change your incantation to Pest Threads. Now this could take you a little longer than the last fight as the Elden Beast does love to run away a lot, but it's as simple as using Bloodhound Step to dodge every one of his attacks, getting underneath him or as close as you can, then lock onto the Elden Beast and spam Pest Threads. When you hit him 3 or 4 times, unlock and Bloodhound Step away. For some reason, Pest Threads absolutely destroys the Elden Beast, so definitely take advantage of this while you can. Enjoy the build and have fun.
What? Oh, he's picked him up.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
he has. Whoa. Oh. Crap!